All right, this is going to be a long one, but a good one episode. The last episode of the year for us. There's a lot to talk about, a lot going down.
Yes, WWE's. Good. What?
WWE's what? WWE's what?
It's really good, you know. You need to get up on it. You're missing out. Really good these days.
Anyway, we're going to start off the show. All right, back with another episode. If you haven't already, follow us on TikTok, Instagram, X. I gotta get used to this. I gotta change the layout. 2024, when we go live, everything's gonna be updated. This is always just a test run with you guys. Haha.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, this is a test run as Jada Kiss over here.
Follow us on all the social platforms at Blue Magic Grindspot Sound or at
Miss Jenna Baby BAYBEE.
And follow us at the Mixed Tag Show on all the platforms again under TikTok. I gotta correct this before 2024, but for right now, it's the Mixed Tag Show _ because TikTok be weird sometimes. And if you haven't already, head over to foryourwear.com/TMTS. Get some merchandise because as we go live for 2024, we're gonna need the funds. We need the support to wear our merch. That's what you preach.
I'm the game.
I'm the game. He still talks like that. I don't know why. Anyway, let's get to the show. We got a lot to talk about.
This is the third time you're gonna keep saying your stuff, but then you don't be like, if you're into fragrances, you know.
It's not the third time.
Every time we do this, every time we do an episode.
If it's in the fall time, you know, we be talking about the wrestling industry, how people be stinky, you know.
Stinky, right. They'll give you some recommendations on like what to smell, you know, how to smell good when you go to these events. You don't want to be funky. You want the experience to be enjoyable. You might pick up, you know, a guy, a girl, and what interests them is your scent. Smell good with Jenna.
And for the record, I wasn't plugging for you. I was plugging the Mixed Tag Show's merchandise.
The point is, for your wear, I don't have a problem with you plugging in for your wear, but I
didn't plug it that time. I didn't. It was a Mixed Tag Show apparel. I was gonna wait to the end of the show to do that.
Check out for your wear as well, because you know not only is the Mixed Tag Show store on there, and we need the coins, but we have a lot of. There's up and coming wrestlers, some indie wrestlers that you're aware of, some former WWE wrestlers.
Yep.
Newly released.
Announcement this week.
He has announcements this week.
A big one.
And we got, you know, I felt our peers on there, those wrestling girls. Who else is on there?
We got Brian H. Waters. We got Something Else Podcast. We got Lovely. We got All Elite Geeks who be holding down the AEW news. We got True Hill Heat. There's a lot of podcasts on there that we support.
Your man just taking over, you know.
I'm trying.
Taking over.
One podcast and wrestler at a time.
So who's a great co-host? Me.
So then let's talk about what do you want to talk about first?
All right. Well, I mean, I guess we're gonna go ahead and start off with Raw because it started off the week. We had a back and forth about this. And I even think we had a slight little back and forth on Instagram, but you know, it's not a day where Blue is not hating. So this is
not hating because I don't want to be a sheep. I don't get it.
It doesn't. But what? Okay. Well, I'm gonna give this topic we're discussing, and then you'll let me know why you feel like it's being a sheep, why it's being a sheep or not. But CM Punk and Seth Rollins, CM Punk came on to Raw, and he made it official that he is officially signed to the Raw brand.
Where else would he go?
I mean,
where else would he go?
Why are you a hater?
It's not being a hate. I'm just saying, like, that makes the most sense is for him to be on Raw, especially with
that makes more sense. Like instead of
that's what I'm saying, but that's my point. I'm like, where else would he go? He wouldn't go to SmackDown. They just announced that SmackDown's about to be moved again. Like Raw still like looks like Raw about to be back to becoming the flagship show. So that's where you want your big pieces at.
I didn't even think of it from that standpoint, from a business standpoint. So you're right about that. But yeah, Seth Rollins came out and basically told Punk, if you dare call this your home, where you try to take down WWE, and it was a very spirited promo. I had mentioned this on X, and I had said, it's nice when you can get promos that has a touch of realism to this, and this was the prime example of that. It was a lot of emotion from Seth, and the fans behind him, are marks for PM Punk, CM Punk. So they were behind him. So it was tense. And then on top of that, I was like, yo, this reminds me back in 2013, right? Is that when CM Punk faced The Rock?
I don't remember. I'm not good with numbers.
Okay,
Like that.
let's say it's 2013 when CM Punk faced The Rock at Royal Rumble, and CM Punk. I don't know if you hear that again. My apologies. I live in New York. The
You won't hear
background.
nothing.
All right. So yeah. So when CM Punk came out and made The Rock look, he was clearly the better one when it came to promos. It seemed like that with Punk and Rollins, where Rollins kind of got the best of him in that promo. Not that he didn't hold his own, but he did his thing. So that's what that reminded me of. And listen, it was an amazing match. I mean, not amazing match. It was an amazing promo. I'm definitely excited for this match next month.
Okay, now you want me to say why I didn't like?
Yeah, by all means, my guy.
All right. So first and foremost, stop this lying that I'm just a straight up hater, because I already said that this is the money match that needs to be made. Like, it has to be CM Punk versus Seth Rollins to kick off.
You were arguing me a couple of weeks ago that wasn't
no.
the case.
No, I said that's the feud. I just said it shouldn't be for the title, and I don't think that Punk should win the Royal Rumble. Like, he doesn't need all that to make this match special, because they already got the history. But the thing is that I don't know. Honestly, this is probably by design, because knowing Seth Rollins and CM Punk, they probably did this just to do it. But this is basically a copy and paste promo from Hangman Adam Page. And when he told Punk, this is not your home, I'm protecting you from AEW, blah, 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 blah. But that's what, and so I'm like, everybody's like, yo, this is so fire. It's realism. And but y'all wasn't saying this when Hangman was saying it. Like, what's the difference? Well, that's what makes me like, yeah.
Go ahead, continue. Go ahead.
No, that's what makes me like frustrated.
It's
definitely the same promo and from the same standpoint, but this all of a sudden becomes fire, but the other one wasn't fire. Why wasn't the other one fire? It's the same thing.
But I don't think anyone actively hated on that said promo. It's not necessarily one not being fired, but in this situation where CM Punk, there was clearly something bubbling under the surface with Rollins over at WWE and Punk in AEW at the time, and a little back and forth. So this was playing out outside of actual wrestling. So now when you see people beef, it's kind of like, I don't know, and I'm not equating it to this, but on like with rap beefs, right? With 50 and Jai, like they've been beefing with each other for years, forever. Right? Forever.
It's never gonna end.
It's never gonna end since I was like freaking 12, whatever. Like I was in junior high school when these guys were beefing. But my point is, they've been beefing for all these years from a distance. Imagine if they got finally in the same setting and it, face to face, it'd be like, oh shit. So I think this is a situation of where Seth Rollins and CM Punk are finally, like, we didn't think this would ever happen with Punk going back to WWE, and now he's in that setting, and it's like, oh shit, y'all face to face. I think that's what makes it more so. I mean, it's the current flavor of the week. That's really
and I agree with that. Like I said, this is dope. Like, they finally get to interact and things like that. It's not directed as you, but the way the Big Stack Show had posted it, it was just happened, and I was watching like the back and forth between the two promos that was like identical, and I'm literally watching people on the timeline saying, "Oh, nah, it's not the same. Oh, nah, this is better. Oh, nah, like it's like."
I mean, it
gets toxic sometimes when it gets to this point. And that's why I'd be like, all right, I'm not feeding into this. I'm not gonna lie and say this is not a dope matchup between the two. It's gonna be a dope matchup. And him going to the Royal Rumble, announcing it, like I said, I hope he doesn't win the Royal Rumble. He doesn't need that. But
we talked about this a couple of weeks ago because who's going to win the Royal Rumble? I understand.
No, I agree. We got to find a better suited person, but I don't think he needs to win the title. Like Seth about to hold it for a year now, right? Like this title.
Why does he need to hold it for a title?
He doesn't need to hold it for a title. I feel like Punk should just cost him the title to somebody else and let him rock, and they can continue their feud without the title. Punk don't need this title. Seth don't need this title. So why is this title even in the discussion?
I mean, at the end of the day, Seth is the champion, so it has to be in the. At the end of the day, right? It's never really been a situation where someone holds the title, is a title holder, and coming into a pay-per-view or a PLE, they're not going to defend their title. It's just it is what it is. He's going to.
But who's he going to defend it at against on Royal Rumble now that everybody know that his eyes is on Punk?
Maybe he doesn't have a match. We've seen multiple times when Roman don't or whoever doesn't have a match.
Roman's the worst example.
He's the worst example, but I'm saying there's just times where champions don't defend titles.
So now both of your championships not being defended at one of your top 4 pay-per-views.
Well, you said both or one, because I believe if I'm not mistaken, Roman is going to probably defend his title at Rumble, probably against Orton, and we'll discuss it later on when we discuss SmackDown, that there might be some others in the mix.
No, discuss it. We here.
No, we're not at SmackDown. We just finished this up.
We don't have to go in order. Just talk with the flow.
No, I just want to finish. I want to finish. We don't gotta go in order, but I don't want to necessarily talk about that right now. Like fuck.
I like
doing
anyway.
This to her. Okay. But my point being, I don't think Seth. You know what? In the meantime, actually, that just dawned on me. Drew McIntyre is very much in the hunt and still wants a title shot. So who's to say you probably won't? You probably might see Drew and Seth running back. I don't know. And then probably
let Drew win.
Drew's not gonna win. And have Drew go into the Royal. He'll probably find himself in the Royal Rumble as well. So there's mad different matches or opponents that they can mix up with Seth right now. And just honestly, how often do you see a title change happen at Rumble? Prime example, CM Punk versus The Rock. The Rock won the title against Punk. But my point is, that was mad years ago, and I'm trying to think, how often do you see a title change happen at Rumble? It probably could have happened recently. I can't remember, but yeah.
I'm bad with history. I know stuff happened, but I don't remember when.
Right. So yeah, I just think that I think I'm excited for it. I'm excited for I want Punk to win the Rumble just because he has unfinished business and he's never won.
He hasn't won the Rumble, has he?
He has not. I was just getting ready to say he's never won the Royal Rumble. This is his opportunity to main event WrestleMania. The fans are here for it. Yes, sometimes in a situation there's people that actually deserve probably a push and be in that spotlight. But if the fans want this, the WWE's been a thing over the past years or forever in general. It's like sometimes they don't give us what we want, and it's like, why are we doing this? Why can't you just give us what we want?
Because you're not the booker,
right? So in this situation, the fans want CM Punk, so he might as well win the Rumble and main event WrestleMania, and it's gonna sell. You also want a match that's gonna, people gonna be invested in and want to purchase tickets to.
But here's the other reason why, again, I don't think the title should be involved, because do Punk deserve to be the next World Heavyweight Champion?
But I'm not saying anything about deserving or not.
No. I'm just saying. I'm talking about the aspect of why I said the title don't need to be there. The match has to happen. I'm pretty sure it's going to main event night 1 of WrestleMania. It's written in the stars, in a sense. I just don't think he needs the title.
Why doesn't he need the title?
Because there's others that.
But okay, I understand that there are others, but sometimes if the story writes itself and if there's unfinished business with him in WWE, after all the smack that he's talked over the years about WWE, his health, his this, all these different things, and then you finally come back, and then not only you came back and conquered, but you won the big one. That's a story. That's a story that people can get behind. Why wouldn't you put a title in the picture?
I don't think it. I just think this is gonna be a recipe for disaster.
Why?
I just have a feeling. It's just one of those feelings. I think it's gonna be a recipe for disaster.
I don't think it's gonna be a recipe. I mean, listen, whatever. There's nothing a recipe. It's not gonna be a situation where he's hijacking the title for 7 years, like Roy.
Oh no, it's not. I don't think it'll be that bad.
So okay, so then that's so then how is it a recipe for disaster?
How did it work out when Rock beat Punk for the title?
Rock faced Cena, and Cena won. And Cena, it was like that putting Cena over. That was it.
Do you think we'll get that?
Rock didn't have the title that long.
Do you think we'll get that kind of moment from Punk with somebody else?
But we don't know. Outside of that, we don't know what CM Punk's temperature going to be from now to February. This is an ongoing thing, and time will tell. I don't know. I really can't answer that for you.
That's what I'm saying. But to me, it's one of those I got a feeling this is not gonna. It's like, but anyway.
Well, you're only saying that because of what CM's reputation in the past. I don't know if this man has. Okay, but I don't know. What if his reputation and he's worked on his behavior and whatever, and that changed.
4 months.
Why not? Yeah, I don't know, but I think time will tell when it comes to if it's a recipe for disaster, if it was good for business. But
speaking of title reigns,
go ahead. I was going to do the transition, but okay. This is what
I'm talking about.
This is what pisses me off.
You let off the last topic. I wanted to bring in the next one. Can I bring in the next one? Oh, because it's WWE. It's supposed to be you. That's what it is. All right, go ahead. My bad. I ain't mean to step on your toes with WWE.
I'm just saying. I'm gonna let you rock with AEW and chime in when I need to. But you let it be. Anyway, speaking of title defenses, Rhea Ripley's title reign. I wanted to touch on that briefly. I know we've discussed this before, but I was just really disappointed. And I get it. We're in December, so you're not gonna really see too much going on when it comes to title changes and defenses and feuds and stuff like that. But Rhea's title reign, man, is just chilling. She's chilling. I mean, listen, she's one of the MVPs of this year when it comes to WWE. Her and Dirty Dom. Their character's been phenomenal. I love that she has been the unofficial. Okay, it has nothing. All right. Why you do that? Anyway.
What? You use the word phenomenal too soon.
Because I can't use it because it's not freaking Alan James. Anyway. So I think her character work has been awesome, but I don't understand why she has had formidable feuds. I think when you look back at this title reign, there's not going to be anything that necessarily stood out in regards to her defenses. So that's disappointing. And then they put Maxine Dupree on there, and it was essentially a squash and showing her ability is very limited. So it was like, well, what was the point of even having that match?
Right.
And we'll discuss it. We'll discuss it a little bit more later in regards to what do we want to see in 2024. But that's kind of a preview of what I'm going to discuss.
Well, I'm about to say but who do you see at this point? Who do you see challenging Rhea for the title? Because most of the heavyweights are on SmackDown at this point. When Charlotte was available, Charlotte's currently out with an injury. She'll be gone till sometime in 2024 they announced. Do you have
Did they say Bianca Belair with?
A knee injury. She's out 9 months.
Did she tear something?
I don't know. They said it's a knee injury. She'll be out for 9 months. And that's what I was able to see this past weekend.
Sounds like she tore ACL or something like that. If it's like that, 9 months.
Yeah,
sounds like
9 months. She's out.
Damn.
And then we got Bianca, Damage Control, all them people are over there. So who do we really have on the roster with her that could, challenge her for this title?
Yeah,
This is
see, I mean, yeah, what?
what I say. Is this where we bring in Drake? You bring in the Storm, who's been low key training without people realizing.
I mean, hey, this is that's what it sounded like, right? Because so if you put there's no one on the roster currently that's physical stature compares to Rhea. Rhea's body is insane. She just has the superstar look, dominance, everything. So now who can you put her against that? Man, damn, she looks like she can take her on.
Right.
Jade Cargill, right? Jade Cargill looks like a star. Jade Cargill's body is insane. She has it factor or just at least one of the main faces of WWE. She has that look. That's probably someone in 2024 that you probably look into. But I have a dark horse that I want to discuss.
Who you got?
We'll talk about it when we talk about the 24 and stuff.
You love cliffhangers.
And keep people watching at what? How many minutes we are? About around 20 minutes. Keep people watching. Who is this he's talking about? Gotta stay tuned.
Yeah, getting your cliffhangers.
Yeah.
But now I really feel like Rhea needs something different. They're starting to get into the area that the Bloodline got in terms of Judgment Day, because you got the tag team championships. You're not doing anything with that. You got the briefcase that you completely keep failing on cashing in. So when are you going to successfully cash it in? It's a heel. More than likely, he's going to succeed on his cash in. So what's that going to do for Judgment Day? We're lobbying into, no disrespect to R-Truth. R-Truth is a legend, but now you're just going into doing stuff with R-Truth, and it started. Unless they do a complete turn like they did with Sammy when he was in the Bloodline, but this is copy and paste. We've said this before, so we've seen this happen already. So what are you doing?
Now you don't have to see. We don't have to see R-Truth do that or turn heel. Sometimes we're so quick to say, "Oh, this person needs to turn heel. This person."
No, I'm saying not turn heel.
I'm not saying no. I'm not saying you. All I'm just saying, I'm not saying that you're saying that. I'm just my point is we're so quick to, after a while with certain characters, change it up. What I was gonna say in regards to R-Truth, we don't need to see that. We don't need to see any of that. He's like you said, he's a legend. He provides the comedy and just the entertainment relief that sometimes breaks up, the show. So that's fine. But what you said, it's similar to the Bloodline, where on SmackDown, I was looking at that and I'm just like, this is starting to get silly with the Bloodline because you have nothing else to discuss or to focus on. So that's same thing with Judgment Day. It's like it's running its course. So
did you ever watch Empire?
Yeah.
Why did you stop watching Empire? That's funny that I know that you stopped watching it, right? Why did you stop watching Empire?
I was gonna bring this point for 2024, but since you already said it, let's get into it. With these storylines, right? When it runs its course, you stop watching it. So when you brought up the example Empire, you bring up any type of show for the first couple of seasons, right? It's mad funny or it's super good. Then you get into the 4th, 5th season, 6th season, and it's like, all right, this is not as good as it used to be. Then it's like this. If it goes on for the 7th and 8th, then it's like, all right, it's dragging on. When they finally got to cancel the show. It's kind of like SpongeBob too. Don't we always say in the first couple of seasons of SpongeBob is goated? Right. You have all the different jokes, but now everyone says now the episodes nowadays it's cringe. The jokes are weird and it's too goofy. This is exactly what with the Judgment Day and the Bloodline, it's now starting to run its course where it's just like, all right. And now you try to find comedy to make it for us to stay interested, but it's like,
nah, and that's what happened with Empire a lot. It's just the way it went. It was like a returning cycle. When I realized the cycle of it, it was we're family. Something happened. Family hate each other. Somebody come against the family. We go against that person. family breaks up again. It started becoming a repeated cycle of the same thing over and over again. And it's like, why am I watching this? I already know what's gonna happen. Y'all gonna break up. Y'all gonna come back together, fight somebody. Y'all gonna beat the person, and then start fighting each other again. And then, like, once it does that, once you start seeing that pattern, it's time to move on.
Yeah, that's what it really is. Time. It's time to move on. So going back to again with Rhea's title reign. Listen, we saw Dominic lose the NXT North American title, so I don't know if that's like the seams like kind of ripping a little bit. I don't know, but it with both factions is starting to run its course. Unless you can do something like crazy that's unexpected, cool, but there's no need for this to go on the way it's gone on. So there needs to be someone bringing it back to Rhea's title defense. There has to be someone, and right now the only person I can think of, as Jade, as you mentioned, is working on her craft, is the one to see like that might in the kitchen cooking might be the one to really give Rhea a battle. But speaking of a battle,
which battle you talk about? It's plenty to pick from.
We really gotta work on these transitions. Speaking of a battle, over on Wednesday in AEW.
Oh, so yeah, there's a couple. That's what I'm saying. There's a couple of battles over there. What you want to talk about? We want to talk about the Continental Classics right now that's going on. Do you want to talk about the battle between the Death Before the Dishonor or Ring of Honor? Where you want to go? We go AEW. We go AEW. So right now,
talk about AEW. I know Swerve and Mox had a really really good match. I'm kind of disappointed.
Did you get a chance to see it?
Yes, and I'm highly disappointed. But
why are you disappointed?
I wanted Swerve to win.
Yeah, but this is why I hope this is where they're going. Let's just say this. This is a very great match. Moxley rarely loses. He had a great bout with Swerve. And right now, Moxley sits at the top of the card with his 12 points. And right now, Swerve have his 9. And I believe what's leading to this, because now Moxley's getting ready to face Jay White, is where Jay White beats Moxley and create that little triangle at the top to see who finally wins it. And this is the way you create it, because I think Swerve just beat Jay White. So it wasn't a thing where Swerve could win again because he has somebody to lose to next in terms of the top 3. So this is why I feel like Moxley's the one that took the win, and then he's going to take a L against Jay White to make it a situation where it's a close call at the top to see who's going to go to the next rounds. Overall, I think it was a great showing for Swerve and Moxley. That match was crazy. Like, every time you think you can't get crazy with Moxley, somehow he makes it worse.
But I've never I'm not necessarily a fan of his wrestling style. I think that whole like always got to be bloodied up and all that different things. I don't think is necessarily needed to be a good match. But the match between him and Swerve was crazy. Swerve is definitely, I mean, he's always had it, right? But there's not too many people that I can say. Moxley's actually one of them, but there's not too many people that I can say at this current moment that I can think of that has made the transition. Brody Lee was someone that made a good transition from WWE to AEW. Swerve is the prime example, which is so funny because Keith Lee and him was, they do the tag team thing, but Keith Lee's run in AEW has been kind of, here and there, and Ring of Honor has been kind of whatever. But Swerve, man, when I tell you he has built his stock, like with the Hangman feud, he made me a believer. Like that was like he was on some like sinister type stuff. So he established himself there, really like this character, this gritty character, and who's another gritty character, Moxley. So it was just like this is honestly, I wish it was an actual like feud to really, because I can really see them just doing like the craziest things to one up each other. I would love to see that. But again, so with that said, Swerve is build his stock, you want to see that. But with Mox, it kind of just goes back to what we were just discussing with AEW. How you said, for example, CM Punk doesn't need this, that, and third. Why does Punk need all of that? Punk was the first, wasn't he the first AEW champion? He was.
He's on Moxley.
Yeah, he's has all these accolades in AEW, and it's just like, why does he need this moment? I get what you're saying in regards to him facing Jay White, but why does he need? Why did he need that moment to overcome on Swerve? I just like I'm not, you already know I'm not saying anything about how he is as a wrestler, and I think he's really good, but in his own right, but it's just it doesn't agree with me.
Right.
The sirens is like going crazy today. You can't
You
hear
don't
it, but
want
I'm sure people can. I promise you, when people are like, what's going on over there? My fault. But yeah, I think Swerve deserved it. Moxley
No, he's
has
gonna
enough
get there.
accolades. I
I think
get
he's
it, but it's just I wanted this over him.
for Moxley. You want it directly over Moxley. Like I said, I feel like he's gonna get there between Swerve and Moxley. They're gonna revisit each other again. Moxley's become the boss in terms of AEW because he doesn't lose often. So when he loses, it means something. When Jay White beats Moxley, it's not gonna be clean. Jay White's gonna do something to beat Moxley where it's gonna tarnish the win a bit. I feel like when if it really goes down between Swerve and Moxley, maybe in the finals, because remember, this is still tournament, right? Maybe them ended up in the finals or the semifinals where they get to face each other again is where when Swerve gets that win. You know what I mean?
Okay.
This is points. So it's like it's a setup thing where Moxley has 12 now. Moxley's going to lose to Jay White, so Jay White could get 12. And then Swerve's going to be whoever he's going to beat to get 12. And it's now all of them got 12, so they advance to the next round. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things where, like, I'd rather him get it here than I'd rather him get it later on than here with points. It doesn't mean anything. But I do think
they finally made it work with like the little point system. Remember we were all like when AEW.
Oh no, this is totally different. This is like a tournament style. They done got rid of the rankings a long time ago. The rankings was all over the place. Like, wait, somebody never lost and they're in fourth place? Like, what's happening with this? Like, what's happening over there? And they just couldn't make it work. But this is tournament, like, so that it makes more sense. It's like, so I don't know if you've seen that this guy has left AEW. His name just escaped my mind. But one of his reasons why he left is because he felt like AEW is becoming more like New Japan in terms of like delivery, tournaments, and stuff like that. That's not a bad thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's giving structure to the show. It's giving purpose in matches. Like, so this is one of those things where they kind of adopted the kind of like how the in tournament was with the NBA. It made it more interesting in the middle of the season. This is one of those things that's happening now, and everybody's really tuned in for it. Another thing that's going on in AEW is this MJF situation and the devil.
Yeah, what's up with this whole devil storyline, man? I gotta get my holy water and whatnot, watching all this stuff. Like, come on.
Yeah, MJF been introducing this for a while. Somebody stole his devil mask, and now they're trying to act like him. Samoa Joe's been basically dubbed the protector of MJF by Adam Cole. So until Samoa Joe could get his title shot,
right?
At the pay-per-view, so he's making sure that MJF can make it there. It's his goal, and he felt like Hangman Page was set up last week. We know with the bottle that Hangman is the one that attacked MJF, and he's the devil, whatever.
MJ. Yeah.
But of course, we know it's not Hangman. It's too obvious. Now, I was trying to run some scenarios of who could be the devil. I don't know if you follow the story long to chip in, but the current suspects are Britt Baker, Adam Cole, and Jack Perry.
It sounds like it would be Adam Cole, right?
Yeah, but the way Adam Cole's injury is, we don't know when he's coming back, so we don't know if they're going to try to drag this whole situation that long, or what.
Yeah, but if that's the case, then that would kind of eliminate Britt Baker, because what would Britt Baker have? And you know what I mean? Because that just means
because the jealousy with the relationship he had with Adam Cole is what they're running with.
I understand, but the ending of that, if it was Britt
Right.
Baker, it's not like Britt Baker's gonna be like, it was me,
Yeah, she's a
motherfucker,
long
and then
shot.
right, and then I'm going to challenge you. It's like, so that if it was Britt Baker, it sounds like it would be because of her man, not
Right.
because of anything else. So that, yeah, it sounds like a long shot.
Jack Perry is a very great answer. We haven't seen Jack Perry since he got suspended from CM Punk's incident. So he's been like lingering around in the back, and nobody really knows what's next for him. But to this morning, it kind of dawned on me of more options that people are not thinking about. Because again, this plays into my big announcement not later, but later this week. The 90-day clause ends this week for a lot of those people that got released from WWE. And amongst those people are Mustafa Ali and Dolph Ziggler. So it would play a great role if one of those two turned out to be the devil.
But why would it play into why? I don't see Mustafa Ali or Dolph Ziggler as formidable opponents in this storyline. Again, am I underestimating them? Probably, but I just don't see that. Why would they be the ones to be the devil?
Because they want that title shot. They want that title from him. Everybody want the Triple B.
Yeah, but you want they gonna go off the main title right off the bat? Dolph Ziggler and Mustafa Ali?
Why not? Dolph Ziggler, regardless of how his time ended in WWE, Dolph Ziggler gave you some of the best matches over there.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying he didn't. He gave us great moments.
So in that case, in Mustafa Ali, we've seen the potential he had over there as well when he's given the reins of like what he needed to do. And I always say this is why a lot of people like, yeah, I want this person to go to that place. AEW is one of the places where anybody can be champion, where whether their body type, their style, whatever the case may be, you know that they have a shot at being at the top. Why not start at the top for one of these two and carry the reins? Because right at this point, MJF needs to lose the title. He's held it for too long.
For sure, because again, let's talk about this for 2024. But yeah, long title reigns. But just because I know we spent a lot of time with all of this and stuff, I don't. Maybe it is. Maybe I'm because of their experience in WWE, and I strictly see them as mid-card performers and not necessarily for a heavyweight title. I can't really see it, but the options are endless.
Look at Swerve.
Right? Yes, but Swerve build his way up there and build his stock. There's a difference with that. You don't just come in. You're not just Swerve didn't come in as a mid card or someone in NXT or in a faction, and then all of a sudden came to AEW and he's whatever. And this is time and time I've told you this. I love character work. I love character work and I love character development. You started off here and then you build your way up. So now, you know what I mean? It's just organic. So to see Ali or Ziggler in that role and be like, I wouldn't, me looking from the outside, as a fan, I'm just like, nah.
But why not? Ziggler's a former champion, and Ali was supposed to be in Bryan Danielson's spot when that situation happened.
But for the most part in their careers in WWE has been in mid card. Yeah, Ziggler had a couple of title reigns because he cashed in Money in the Bank briefcase and whatnot. But I've never looked at Ziggler. I've never looked at Ziggler and been like, "Yo, that's a world champion." I'm not saying he don't deserve. Not saying he doesn't deserve a shot. I'm not even saying he doesn't deserve any type of title shot. But at this point, I don't see him as such.
This is gonna be interesting.
We'll see.
Let's see what happens. Also, that happened this past weekend was the death before Dishonor. Do a brief recap. There was a 6-man tag where they honored Briscoe, and it was FTR and Briscoe's brother versus Brian Danielson, Claudio, and Moxley. It is one of those matches again where it's just like it was a regular match. And for whatever reason, it got out of hand because Moxley's involved, of course, and they just turned it into false count anywhere, no holds barred type of match.
Mm-hmm.
And it went crazy. I don't know if you had a chance to watch this or see clips from this match particularly, but it's definitely one of those things where you have to watch it because it was just like, what just happened? Because everything turned so fast. It was a great match.
I gotta
Did
check
you get
it
a chance?
out.
You didn't get a chance to look at it.
No, because then when you telling me I don't, the resources to use to watch these different things are no
The
longer provided.
resources.
You know, it's hard. It's hard to tune in.
Yeah, definitely. What we used to watch, I just subscribed to Honor Club. To be honest with you, I just went out and got it. Because it's just I just had to do it.
Slide that password, my G.
Pass the password.
Yeah, slide the password, my G. Well, I mean, no, I'm gonna purchase it and support the product.
Wait, was it Death Before Dishonor? Was it Death Before Dishonor this past weekend?
I don't know, but
Am I saying the wrong one?
You gotta wrap it up because
we ain't gotta wrap it up.
We're already at 40 some odd minutes, and you don't have to go through the whole recap of the pay-per-view.
No, but definitely I do want to pay attention to what Athena did in that match because man, they main evented the night where it was Athena versus Billy Starks. And that match was amazing in the sense of like Minion trying to take over the Overlord, and you have to like. This was the first time I believe that the women's title main evented a Ring of Honor pay-per-view, and they definitely delivered in the sense of what they was trying to achieve. But one of the things I do want to like we don't talk about on the show enough. I'm pretty sure I've seen it on social enough. Is how that's what it was. Final battle. What was I calling it? Death Before Dishonor. I'm totally off. I'm sorry, guys. It was Final Battle this past weekend. And it was just one of those things where it was just like Athena has carried this division. Athena has carried Ring of Honor.
She has.
For this entire 2023. She had 44 title defenses, and 40 of those was this year alone. And she's won all of them in great standing, no bad matches. Everybody's enjoyed it. It's just one of the things where I thought that Billy Starks would win just so that Athena could go save AEW's women's division.
Yeah, I mean, let's
just keep on it.
Yeah, I mean, you're right. We haven't talked much about Athena this on the podcast since we've been back, but it's noted that she's had a phenomenal year in regards to just with everything. And this is what we wanted when she was in WWE, right? We saw how she was in NXT and how awesome she was there. And for whatever reason, well, not for whatever reason, because we saw who was in charge and how things were operating at the time when she was there. So she wasn't really able to really shine the way a lot of us know she's capable of shining. And then when she got signed to AEW, I'm not gonna even hold you. I was a little skeptical because we've seen how, again, like you just mentioned, the women's division needs saving.
Right.
But it's so funny that they're under the same umbrella in the sense AEW Ring of Honor, but she's cooking under Ring of Honor. So I didn't get to see the match. She's leading the way.
She's the face of that. She's the face of that company right now.
So with that said, like you just let's see that translate into the women's division for AEW because again, one of the things will be discussed at the end in regards to what I'm looking forward to in regards to 24 is definitely that. So definitely she deserves her flowers here on the Mixed Tag Show.
Just some other quick things from Final Battle, and I promise this is it because I know you like we gotta move forward. Devon Eriks also debuted on 0 Hour. Shout out to Devon Eriks. We've the Iron Claw is getting ready to release in the movie theaters. When we talk about the Von Erich family, and we've known the tragedy that follows them. So it's great to see that they're having this great moment over at Ring of Honor and their start at their debut. Also, shout out to Brian Keefe. Brian Keefe, the Outlaw, was able to be featured in the 6-man tournament for the new Ring of Honor TV television championship. He had a great outing, which ended with Kyle Fletcher winning the title, and it's going to be interesting how they move forward with that. And then, of course, we've talked about Keith Lee and his battles in AEW, and he's went over to Ring of Honor, and he ended up a chapter when he faced Shane Teller from Shane Teller Promotions, and that was a great matchup as well. If you haven't had a chance, just check out Final Battle. Ring of Honor is, unless people like to talk about Ring of Honor and how Tony Khan is killing Ring of Honor, there's a lot for you to watch over there and for you to enjoy.
Say one last thing before we just kind of wrap the bow on with AEW and stuff. Unless you have anything else to talk about, Kenny Omega.
That was my next one.
Kenny Omega, we just saw this past week, was diagnosed with diverted. I can never say diverted.
I can't say it either.
But it's a disorder that affects, I guess, like your digestive system. If I'm not remember correctly, I know Brock Lesnar was diagnosed with that. So it's definitely a debilitating thing that we're gonna probably see Kenny out of action for a minute. And he was in the middle of the storyline with the Golden Jets with Chris Jericho. So I know I was gonna say, listen, I'm not gonna say it's a blessing in disguise for someone to get something like that to happen to someone, but it's just
and it's one of those things.
It's not needed.
And I just want to put out, we did this as a community. We did this when Black Panther, when I forgot the name of the actor. I'm sorry, it's slipping my mind. Like I had a long weekend.
Chadwick.
Yeah, Chadwick. I'm having my weekend, so I don't. Yeah, my mind is like tired. But when Chadwick was going through his situation and everybody was looking at him like, hey, he didn't look like he's happy Black Panther, and later on we found out that he was dealing with what he was dealing with, which is why he looked the way he was on his press run. It was the same thing this past weekend when Kenny Omega was, delivering his promo in the ring, and everybody's like, he looks very disinterested. No, he's not disinterested. He's just sick.
He's pain. He's pain. Yeah.
He was going through pain. He's like, even the match he had, he was going through whatever he was going through. So a lot of times, that's why I say with social media, everybody's quick to jump in and critique, and you don't know what's going on in a person's personal life. You gotta take a step back and take a second before you make those kind of comments, because you don't know what's going on. But we're glad that he caught it in time and that he's working to heal up from that, and we're wishing him a speedy recovery.
1,000%. 1,000%.
Go ahead. You wanted to talk about the women's division in WWE? What's going on with that?
Just briefly, because again, a lot of time has been spent on the other topics. But just one of the things, you know what it is with wrestling, specifically WWE, as the year always winds down, we kind of just see things are stagnant when it comes to storylines. But I will say I've been very, very, and I mentioned it on our weekly news recap that check out for this week. We're going to post one for this week as well. But the women's tag team division is heating up, and it's not a situation where let's just put random teams together because we have these titles, and just teams that are actually working together. I forget what Kaden Carter and this girl Katana their name is, but they're having matches. Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell, Chelsea Green and Piper have done a really good job as the women's tag team champions, and in the past, again, everything seemed forced. So let's just put these two people together because they have nothing to do. And now it finally looks like, all right, we're building a division. So I love to see what they're doing, not only with the women's tag team division, but also, you see in the men's division, you got teams like the Creed brothers. Although their in-ring ability is really, really good, their characters, not so much. You see DIY is back together and they're killing it. Imperium is always doing their big one. So it's just a lot of exciting tag team wrestling going on, and it, for the first time in so long, it doesn't feel like it's forced or on the back burner. Just like it just seems like this is a part of the weekly show. So definitely wanted to shout out WWE for that because I'm very impressed with what they're putting out.
Now give the men's division back their tag team titles so you can do something with it.
That too. Another thing I would love to. That I'll give one thing that I want to see in 2024. Change them.
Oh, we get an early one. No little cliffhanger.
Listen now. Let's because I just thought of it. Let's change these titles and really get different tag teams involved, not just like factions. Again, if it wasn't the Bloodline, it was the Judgment Day that's hijacking the tag team titles.
Or two individuals.
Well, not even two. Well, I guess Sammy and Kevin Owens, but outside of that, it's just been the Bloodline and Judgment Day.
Yeah.
Because Sammy and Kevin didn't even hold it for too long. So.
Right.
But yeah, other than that, I guess lastly, a couple other things. We saw Carmelo Hayes on SmackDown. He had a very impressive debut against Grayson Waller in the United States Championship, I guess, tournament. Why is it saying that I'm currently working out? Anyway,
you're talking too fast.
It's a workout. But I'm excited to see Carmelo on the main roster. I think it's time to bring him up on the main roster. He's done everything he's needed to do on NXT, which is so funny because I always think about our conversations about Carmelo and Braun Breaker. You brought up a lot of things when it came to race and why he had to he didn't win the title first, but and I remember saying like, well, with certain things it takes time. And listen, not only did he wound up getting the recognition and the accolades he deserves, he's essentially right now leaps and bounds ahead of Braun, right?
But that proves my point. That was right.
No, it doesn't prove your point.
He was ready. He was way ready before Braun Breaker. Like he could have been way ahead right now than what it is. He's taking a long road. Don't get me wrong. Carmelo deserves every accolade that he's getting along the way, and I understand that he's getting built up the proper way in a sense. But at the end of the day, when that whole situation went down, he was ready. Like he was ready to lead the NXT division, and he should have been in the main roster by now.
But what you just said, you love that the way he sometimes the right thing to do with characters. What they did with Braun Breaker was like they got everyone got excited about him, so let's push him, and then now it's showing now he's still in NXT now trying to like kind of find his footing with this heel character. With Carmelo, it just showed, he's the NXT breakout superstar. He's the North American champion. He's the NXT champion. All this, slow and steady sometimes win the race. Not everything I get it. I understand what you're saying, but sometimes you just got it. Sometimes you have to take a step back and your time will come. And with Carmelo, his time more than for sure came. Not only did it help Carmelo's run help him, but it also helped Trick. Listen, now Trick is unbelievably hot right now. He has everyone behind him, and now he's in the NXT championship picture. So sometimes you don't need to be thrown into something because we think this person deserves it. Shawn Michaels did it right with the way they built, and I guess when Hunter was involved, did the right thing with building up Carmelo, and now we're reaping the benefits of not only for him but also for Trick Williams. So I love it. I love to see that he's on SmackDown, and I hope this is a start of him being permanently on the main roster.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm always excited for him, and if it's gonna take him going through all that just for Trick to get the recognition, I'll take it. But it doesn't change the fact that I really felt like that was just wrong decision at the time. But yeah, I'm excited for Carmelo and see what's going on with that. Hopefully he ain't the one that set up Trick. We gotta find that out too.
I think that man set up Trick. It can't be the wrong decision if it worked out. You know what I mean? So if something works out, it can't be wrong.
Okay. So that's let's see what you want to see what's going on. You want to go into 2024 now? What you want to see happen?
No, man, no. The last thing we got to talk about real quick. AJ Styles Styles
Oh,
returned to
see, you don't skip.
SmackDown.
Go ahead. You made me forget about my phenomenal one.
Nah, because you be forgetting about WWE, so it is what it
Nah,
is.
you skipped. That was supposed to be next.
I ain't skipped nothing. You want what did we end it off with? Carmelo or we ended off with AJ? AJ came back. Listen, AJ came back ripped. I don't know, with these dudes in their 40s, you got Randy and him just looking like completely like
they shared the workout.
jacked. I don't know.
They in a
I
group
don't know,
chat.
but something. But they're completely jacked right now. He's jacked. Yeah, we saw him come and defend Randy and LA Knight's honor until he turned on LA Knight. So, against the bloodline. So we trying to figure out where what's the deal with that. I've been hearing talks that this is setting up for all them to face each other at a Royal Rumble, or who to be the number one contender for Roman's title. So I don't know, but he looks phenomenal.
There you go. On time.
He looks phenomenal, and let's see where it goes with that. But I'm excited.
Yeah, definitely. You already know AJ, my guy, and I haven't been really happy. I've been keeping tabs from afar about like how they've been using him and his time at his past couple of months and years before his injury, and he hasn't been the top guy that he should be in the sense of like being in the right positions and being able to be phenomenal that we all know he is. So seeing him come back all black, not with the serious face. He got the goofy look on his face. He got the goofy haircut, and then came serious. And now I'm excited to see where this goes for him because he still got his boys. He still got Mia in the background with him. They still got a faction themselves. So it's great to see that he leads them and brings some titles as long as well. We talk about, potential. Like I know there's been discussions about ending this brand split a bit. And I would love to see if that's the case. Let's send Mia to Rhea. See that how that rhymes? Send Mia to Rhea, get that title. You know what I mean? Let the good brothers get the tag. Let's get some work going because it can't just be these two up top and then everybody just scrambling for nothing. We got people that could put work in, put them to work. So it's great to see that AJ come back and let's see how serious this makes the group, the club, with his return.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, a lot of people saying he looks a lot like what is it? His New Japan Pro Wrestling AJ Styles. That's what he's giving the Bullet Club vibes. I'm sorry, my dog is in the background barking, but yeah. So let's go. I'm very excited. I agree with what you said. There's no reason why he hasn't won a title in years in WWE.
After that long, boring one they gave him.
Yeah, so and we know he's one of the better wrestlers on the roster. So yeah, again, let's drop these titles so we can have, like you said, people just not scrambling for whatever.
Yeah. The last thing before we go into our predictions for 2024 is these TV deals. Currently, we know that WWE is looking for a TV deal for Raw. I believe they bring in SmackDown to the CW. They don't snatch that from NWA because NWA done dropped the ball with their little cocaine parody that they did. What would you do that? Like, why? Anyway, so now they're looking for a home for Raw, and currently they're being the Warner Brothers are currently entertaining their idea of bringing Raw to their channels. But the interesting part is I don't think Warner Brothers is planning to drop AEW. They want them to run on the same umbrella, similar to how ESPN runs PFL and MMA, the UFC for MMA. So I don't know how one side feels on the other. I'm pretty sure Tony Khan will probably not like that idea since he was there first, and now he has to share his audience in a sense. And we've heard that WWE reached out to WB for a while, trying to figure this out. How do you feel about this potential umbrella of all wrestling under WB? Because apparently WB see there's money in wrestling.
Yeah, listen, at the end of the day, I'm not a fan of two promotions being on the same network, but at the end of the day, WWE needs AEW and AEW needs WWE. We saw all these years how bad WWE was without any competition. So, good, bad, or indifferent. I know there's AEW stands and I know there's WWE stands, and you pick sides, but AEW forced WWE to step their cookies up.
Right.
We probably wouldn't have the Roman Reigns that we have now if it wasn't for AEW, right? There's just so many different things that you can give credit to. So I hope it's not a situation where, if they do happen to get sign a deal with them, AEW sees the short end of the stick.
Right.
When it comes to Raw. I like the idea of being on two separate networks, but hey, you got to do is wherever the money is at, and wherever you can get your product still rolling on, then so be it. But I'm not a fan of the potential deal.
Yeah, definitely, I agree with that. A lot of times I said it this past weekend, is like, it's sickening. It's kind of interesting and sickening how much people want AEW to fail, as if they forget that one, that's a lot of people that's going to lose jobs, right? And then two, it's more so like, it's wrestling. If you don't like it, you don't like it. You see me? I watch Raw here and there, I watch WWE here and there, but I don't sit there and like, I'll have jokes with you guys on the podcast. I have jokes, of course. But I don't sit there on my timeline on social media like, oh, WWE has to fall. Like, why would I want a company to fall? Like, I don't own stock in that company. I don't own that company. You support the wrestlers. You watch who you want to watch, right? And in the sense of this TV deal, I just think that it's weird that you want to be on the same platform with somebody else. And a lot of times it just feels like strategic moves, right? Chess moves to try to take the other place out. And this is why a lot of people accuse them of being a monopoly, is because every time they feel like a threat is happening, look what happened with MLW. They try to step in and close out TV deals or move away from TV deals. So that's why it kind of like, I just look at it like, why do we have to play these games? I mean, I guess it's business and it's like billions to be made, and I'm just here, just a customer trying to enjoy wrestling. But it's just like, yeah, I don't think it's a good idea to be put on the same network. There's plenty of networks out there that you guys can fill out. Shoot, y'all had your own network for a while. Like, why not go back to that? There's money in that, right? So yeah, I don't think it's a good idea. The TV deal, let AW be where AW is at, where WWE where WWE is at. Let them compete. Shoot, find a rival TV station to put them on. Who's gonna put stock in it? Who's gonna put money in it? Who's gonna put advertising into it? Like, it's not good. The only thing that I feel like other sports, it works fine, but it's never good when there's only one show on the stand. But that's just me.
I mean, it with sports is different with like, for example, like they're not like, I was thinking as you were talking, I'm like, what if they just why can't they just put them on ESPN? But the thing is, ESPN runs like Friday night, basketball on Fridays, right? And
yeah, and AEW run into those issues already. So why would you put another wrestling? Like, no.
Exactly. So I don't know. There's so many. Go back on Sci-Fi. Go back on, I don't know, shit, USA. I don't understand.
Make it work with the people that you're working with now. Like, stop being greedy. Like,
yeah. I mean, but that was the problem. They were being greedy and overselling on their product, and Fox was like, "Nah, this ain't.
That's not what you promised." No. So here's the thing: what people forget. I don't know if we talked about this, and this is like about to get deep. I'm sorry. Do y'all remember the time when Fox was looking to buy WWE? And then this was supposed to be a test run with SmackDown to see how they run with SmackDown on Fox to see if they want to buy WWE. This was supposed to be a test run, and then all of a sudden WWE sold to TKO without Fox knowing. You are surprised that Fox don't want to carry your show anymore when you just pulled this kind of stunt on them. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean, it's WWE. It's in WWE's nature to always do some grimy shit.
And even then, like, we spoke about it in the chat, like TKO talks about, even then it was oversold on how much they were gonna get on after the sale, and now they're thinking about finding cut costs. Like, what is happening?
You know what? I was just gonna say that it's not even WWE stuff. That's just how business operates and how corporations operate. You oversell things, and because you're trying to market yourself, and it's not what it seems. So,
AEW ain't innocent. AEW ain't innocent with that either.
I mean, I guess like you just said, it's business, and just said these corporations and people what people do. So, with all that said,
Keep them separate.
hopefully keep them separate so it doesn't affect either product. And like you said, because at the end of the day, people lives are involved in the sense of like jobs and just different options that we get as consumers, and then actually the actual wrestlers that want to be signed to said promotions. It gives everyone
Right.
options. So yeah, so hopefully a deal is struck and it's with the right party. But we discussed all these different things. I think we have enough topics for the week, but I wanted to end the episode since we're winding down to the end of the year. What is it that you want to see in 2024? What are some of the things that you want to see, and then some of the things you don't want to see?
What I don't want to see is people to tribalism. That's what I don't want to see in 24. If you like wrestlers, support the wrestlers. You like the company, support the company. It doesn't mean that you have to go to the other side. Like, it takes shots directly. Like, the things I've been seeing on Twitter is ridiculous. This is which is one of the reasons why. Sorry, this is one of the things I hate seeing on X. I keep calling it Twitter. I hate seeing on X. Whatever it's called now. Right. And that's why I fall back from it a lot of times. Like, Jenna always have to get them like, I need you on X. I need you. I'm like, but I hate seeing this stuff, and I just avoid it. But what I do want to see in 2024, I know there's a couple of contracts coming up that's going to expire. Seth, Becky, Drew, Mercedes is still deciding where she want to go. There's rumors that MJF already signed an extension. Nobody really knows, right? So it's like, what do you want to see? In terms of Seth and Becky, I would love to see them jump ship. Only because I think back to when WCW back in the day, when those big names jumped ship, it tilted one way or the other. Like, it was surprising to see these things happen. I'm sad that we're in an era where nothing's a surprise anymore, right? Like, everything's out there. But I think back to how Scott Hall and all of them jumped ship, and how it rocked one side for a minute, then it rocked the other side. That was some of the best time in wrestling if you were there to watch it. And those are two big names that I feel like would switch the needle majorly if that ever happened. But overall, so when it comes
to wait, to cut you off. So if that's the case, if you love to see them jump ship, would you love to see MJF jump ship?
No, because I don't think MJF will be able to be MJF in that I'm just being honest. I don't think MJF will be able to be MJF in that product. I always say that.
Now, listen, before you even finish your point, shout out to my loving boyfriend. He's like, make sure you mention this. He said, now there was Cody was on a podcast. I forget what podcast not too long ago, and said he thinks he'll see MJF in WWE very soon. I know he signed a contract extension, but he definitely can see him in WWE. So I'm just
of course, anybody. But Cody, Cody is a seller. He's a salesperson. He's the person that you want on the front line when you try to convince people to come over. Or when you're trying to, like, NBA teams be trying to find people to send to go get the person, that's who you said is Cody. Cody could sell you water at a river. Like, like, he's one of those guys. But yeah, like, I would, if it was AEW wise, who I would want to see jump to WWE just to make things interesting, I could see a Wardlow going over there. That would make things interesting because that's somebody that I feel like they're dropping the ball with a lot. I could see Mero returning. I could see
I can see Malachi.
Malachi, you know what I'm saying? Like, to make things interesting, you know what I mean? Like, just to keep pushing on that button, like, hey, we getting our guys back, right? But definitely I would see those two just to make you fear out, so you don't think that I'm just pushing for AEW. But I would definitely, I like when stuff like this happen, and it hurts. I just don't like happening too soon because then people are leaning too far. I like it balanced, if it makes sense. In terms of Mercedes, I want Mercedes to be happy. Go where you're happy. Let's keep it 100. Okay. There's a lot of things that she still wanted to accomplish that she hasn't got a chance to accomplish yet. I would wish that she accomplished those before if she ever does return to WWE. I want her to accomplish that before she does it, so she can feel her fulfillment that she always felt. That's what I want to see in 2024.
What don't you?
And more black champions. Swerve, he better win it, and WWE do better because y'all hiding behind that that title that Reigns is holding. There haven't been no black person that competed for that title yet in 7 years.
Okay, I hear you. And you said 2024. You didn't want to see the tribalism when it came to different in regards to the promotions and stuff. Okay.
Right.
One last question. Who do you see winning the Royal Rumble in 2024?
At this rate, it looks like it's going to be Punk. It's not what I want, but it's what's going to happen.
Well,
what do you want in 2024?
The women's.
The women's one? For the Royal Rumble? I don't know. Because it's like, it's so all over the place that you don't know where they're going with it. Io's champion, but she's not really champion. Rhea is like, where do we go with that? Like, you got like 5 women in a faction in a small division already. So it's like, right. Maybe Jade on the entry and challenge Rhea. Is that what we going with it?
Okay. So what I want to see in 2024, my Royal Rumble winner, Sasha Banks. That's what I want to see in 2024. I want to see Mercedes Moné or Sasha Banks, if she decides to go back to that name in WWE. I would like to see her back there. Why? The women's division sorely needs her. 1, 2.
So does AEW's women's division.
Nah.
But they need her too. You can't. Why do you mean one division need her, but the other one doesn't?
Did you say your point?
I'm just asking a question. You ask me questions on mine. I can't ask you questions on yours.
Because I don't trust Tony Khan. I don't.
Okay,
I really don't. Because like you just said, with you was hoping Athena dropped the title to Billy, and her women's title and help the AEW division. I would see it as it's going to be a situation where she should have just stayed in Ring of Honor. So with that said, no, I was never really too keen on it. I was just, at the end of the day, like you said, whatever makes her happy, fine. That's what I want ultimately. But I feel Sasha Banks needs to make a return. Mercedes Moné needs to run it back at WWE. We see this is the year of returns with Punk. And we seen Nia Jax come back. Who else we seen come back? We seen
DIY, name it. Everybody, Triple H, all the Triple H guys came
back.
Like,
listen, people coming back, running it back, and she has unfinished business. She's another one that hasn't won the Royal Rumble. She's the one that hasn't won a Money in the Bank match. Who's there? Her and Rhea had phenomenal chemistry when a couple of years ago during the Survivor Series build. So yeah, I would love to see Sasha Banks back in WWE. That's something I want to see in 2024. I mentioned also I'm tired of let's leave the long title reigns in 2023. It's becoming redundant. It's becoming old. They're running out of things to discuss, like we just said, in regards to it's comparable to a TV show. When a TV show has run its course, you just keep finding different things to stick and ratings drop. It was great to see what Roman did with this heel turn and the faction of the bloodline, but just watching SmackDown this past weekend and not this past weekend, this past Friday, and I saw Jimmy and like it's really not funny. It was funny maybe a week or so ago, but I'm like, this is not really doing much for me, right? Jay's gone on and really solidifying himself, and then you just have Jimmy as a sideshow act, kind of, which is unfortunate because I've never really been the case with Jimmy. Same thing over on Raw. Rhea hasn't established her holding the title. Io holding the title. Io's not even a main vocal point in the women's division. Let's leave the long title reigns in the past. So yeah, those are the things that I want to see in 2024. And also too, Tony Khan do better with the women's division. I'm just not convinced.
Facts.
Those are the things I want to see in 2024 and the things I don't want to see in 2024.
Quick question. Why not have Sasha Banks return in 2025 and not 2024?
needs it. They need it now. I listen. If it's a situation again, what you said, if it's whatever makes her happy, that she can go and do and have other matches with other people. If that's the main goal, sure. But I think the division needs her. We don't have options unless they decide to finally start building up people. They don't have options. So I want to see her back in WWE, and I think this is the perfect time. WWE is finally cooking on a consistent level. Throw her in there.
And I'll add to that, Tony Khan do better with the women's division or give it to somebody that can do better, because that's how you lose a lot of the people that you're potentially able to get because you're not doing it the right way. But I mean, they're on the right road right now. I just need you to build on it a little bit more. But yeah, that's the show. That's the show for 2023. We'll see you guys in 2024. We'll be updating you guys on how we're moving in 2024 in terms of going live, what date we're going to start, things of that nature, what events we're going to be attending. I will be at Royal Rumble this year. So look out for that. I'm working on some things on the end of For Your Wear. There's an announcement coming this week for that as well. 2024 is going to be a great year for the Mixed Tag Show. I'll say that, because also Jenna has some things going on as well. Jenna?
Do I?
Your fragrance.
My fragrance. No, yeah, just go piggyback off what he said. The Mixed Tag Show, but there's a lot of things we're trying to look into and do. So definitely be on the lookout for that. And yeah, just again, I know this is a wrestling podcast and that's our focus, but again,
but you gotta smell good at these shows. It links.
Yes, you gotta smell good on these shows. So hit me up.
Trying to bag somebody.
I'm not trying to bag anybody, but if you're trying to bag,
I'm talking about the people out there. You trying to bag somebody at a wrestling show. You know what I mean? Wrestling and love. That's what it is.
That's what it is. We gotta look back our wrestling and love segment. But yeah, it's just be on the lookout for big things. We're definitely coming for 2024 more consistently, and it's still gonna be a full year for us. And we're back bigger, badder, stronger. What's up?
What up, though? All right,
Merry
that's
Christmas,
the show.
Happy New Year.
All that. Feliz Navidad, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah. Follow us at the Mixed Tag Show, Blue Magic Glass by Sound.
All right, Miss Jenna, baby, BAYBEE.
All right, and on that note, for 2023, goodbye, mwah, and good night. Bang.